Pokemon fans of the world, it's your boy MegaCrasher, coming at you pumped up, coming at you hardcore, and I come at you guys with a bit of a different video, and I present you guys with kind of like a face-to-face slash vlog slash discussion kind of video in regards to Pokemon Go. More specifically, we are going to be talking about the raid battle system. Now, there's going to be a few things I'm going to be talking about here in this video. Going to be talking about the different levels and what you need in terms of being successful in defeating these raid bosses, and also giving you guys my overall opinions of the raid boss battle system. So, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the video. So, we'll start out with something really easy, ladies and gentlemen. What is a raid boss, you might ask? Well, for those of you guys that are unfamiliar with the new systems in Pokemon Go, basically what a raid boss is a more overpowered and upgraded version of a Pokemon that you would normally see in the wild, whether it would be common or uncommon or even rare. So, take for example, you have a Magikarp. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Magikarp is a raid boss, but we're going to get to the levels here shortly. But basically, you would normally see Magikarp have a ridiculously low CP for its level, but in terms of it being a raid boss, it exceeds a natural CP. Now, the CP of it is in the low 1000s. It's like 1165, if memory serves me correctly. But with that being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, there are different levels of raid bosses. You got a total of 5 levels. Currently, 4 are released. So the level 1 bosses are pretty damn easy, okay? You got Magikarp, as I had actually made reference to. You also have Croconaw, you have Quilava, and you have Bayleaf. Now, those raid bosses are actually pretty damn easy to face off one against one. Now, please do not take that too lightly, you know. You gotta be at a respectable level. You can't just be at like level 5 or something like that and try to take these bosses on, because their CP is comparatively high, even for those standards, even for it being a level 1 boss. You gotta be, in my opinion, at least level 20 maybe, to be able to take on these bosses, maybe a little bit lower actually. I think level 20 starting out might actually be like more than good enough. But basically, ladies and gentlemen, one of the ways to be successful in a raid battle is through type advantage. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, ladies and gentlemen, but especially starting out on level 1 raids, they are relatively very easy. In fact, like, I'm able to 1v1 all of the level 1 raid bosses with any of my Pokemon, and, you know, have a really solid type advantage and just keep on mashing the button to attack it and bring it down. Now, I also gotta say, do not let the overpowering CP fool you, okay? Is that these Pokemon in level 1, they don't exactly hit too hard. So, I mean, you don't exactly have too much to worry about, but also, please take that with a pinch of salt, as I am at a pretty high level. I am at level 30 currently, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's now move on to level 2. Alright, so now we get on to level 2 bosses. Now, what we got going on here, we have ourselves a total of 5 level 2 raid bosses, that being Muck, Executor, Weezing, Electabuzz, and Magmar. Now, these Pokemon right here can be soloed if you are at a high enough level, but these Pokemon are relatively tougher to beat, given the fact that rather than their CP numbers being in 4 digits, they're now in 5, okay? So take Muck, for example. It's in the 12,000 CP range, the 12,000 plus CP range. Same with the Weezing, same with Electabuzz and Magmar, but Executor, on the other hand, is almost at 14,000 CP, okay? Now, that Pokemon hits ridiculously hard. Same with all of the other Pokemon. Now, in this case here, you will need more than one Pokemon to have a type advantage against these Pokemon should you want to beat it in the time limit, being 108 seconds, or in translation, 3 minutes. Now, I gotta say that me being at level 30, it's a little bit more of a challenge for me to solo these Pokemon 1 versus 1, but I am able to do it. But let me tell you something, it definitely is not easy, okay? Like, I gotta say that my favorite raid boss in level 2, without a shadow of a doubt, is Executor. I'm actually kind of surprised that Executor is a level 2 boss, given the fact that it's actually one of, in my opinion anyways, the best Pokemon in Pokemon Go currently. It is a solid-ass grass type, you know, and it goes ass to the grass when it comes to battling, and honestly, it doesn't let you down, okay? I have 3 90, like, high IVs, you know, 90 plus, and they never let me down, okay? I got 2 93% and 1 96%, so I'm pretty good to go. But the thing is that you always want to strive for the best. You always want to strive to have a Pokemon that has a 100% IV. Now, something I kind of wanted to throw in here while I'm on the topic of IVs is that, generally speaking, when it comes to raid bosses, you will have the chance of having a high IV Pokemon should you catch it, which is actually the second part of the raid boss battle challenge, which I'll get into in another part of the video here. But the IVs can be as high as 15 out of 15 for attack, defense, and stamina, or they can be as low as 10 out of 15 for attack, defense, and stamina. Now, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you definitely can solo these Pokemon 1 vs. 1 if you are at a high enough level, as I've said before. But if I'm thinking that if you're like under level 25, unless you have crazy high CP Pokemon that are like 23, 24, 2500 range per like each of them, I would highly recommend that you might want to have a partner with you to be able to help you take down these Pokemon. Now, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's now move on to level 3 raid bosses. Okay, so this is where we are starting to get into some pretty intense territory right here when it comes to the raid bosses, okay? Level 3, you need to have more than one person with you. Like, you might need to have like a group of 2, 3, sometimes 4 or 5 people, depending on what your levels is. Now, I have to say this much, okay? And I came across a video from, honestly, I forget this guy's name, and damn, what a time to forget this guy's name, but I will post a link of this guy's video in the description box down below. This guy's at level 40, and he soloed a level 3 raid boss. And what was the boss, you might ask? Well, none other than Vaporeon. And on top of that, you also got Jolteon and Flareon as the level 3 raid bosses. You also have the likes of Arcanine, Alakazam, Machamp, and Gengar. And like I said, when it comes to level 3 raid bosses, you need to have at least 2 or 3 people with you in order to be able to take these guys on. Unless if you're like a crazy expert person, like that's like high level, like level 40, like the guy that I mentioned earlier, that's able to solo these bosses. And something else that is definitely a crucial factor here in these battles is the time factor, okay? And the thing is that if you don't have a strong enough phone, or if your phone lags, like if your Pokemon Go app lags a lot, that is definitely going to be a killing factor when it comes to whether you are successful or unsuccessful in completing these raid battles. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's now move on to the coup de grace, for right now anyways, that being a level 4 raid bosses. Yep, so now we get to the creme de la creme, so to speak, of these raid battles for now. That being the level 4 raid battles, and I gotta say, man, like, holy cow, like these Pokemon right here, you need to have at least like 5 or 6 people with you, depending on your experience in the game and your level as well, and B, depending on the Pokemon itself that you're facing. Now, here's the thing, is that something I wanted to actually talk to you guys about, but I didn't get the chance to do a Pokemon Go vlog kind of video, so I figured, you know what, I want to lump everything in this video right here, make it as solid and as fast-paced as possible. Is that you have the Kanto starters, that being Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise as level 4 raid bosses. Now, I need to say this, is that myself, my friend Jonathan, and one other person, we were actually able to take down Charizard. Now, unfortunately, my phone lagged out, and I wasn't able to get to the bonus challenge, which I was so pissed. I was so mad. I'm like, I wanted a Charizard, man. Like, what the hell? Why are you doing this to me there, Pokemon Go? I was literally about ready to chuck my phone, like, right across the street as hard as I could, man. I was so pissed. But it's like, you know what? It's like the app's been causing a lot of lagging issues for a lot of people. Like, I'm not the only one. My friend Jonathan has troubles with that shit, too. Same with a lot of other people. So, I mean, I think it's something that is on Niantic's end that they have to fix up or something like that. I don't even know, but like, I was pissed off, no shadow of a, like, without a shadow of a doubt. But the thing is, though, is that I did learn that you only need about 3 or 4 people with a high level and really high CP Pokemon type advantage and all to be able to take down the likes of Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. Now, we get to the quartet of level 4 raid bosses that are insanely high level and hard to beat. We have Rhydon, we got Lapras, we got Snorlax, and we have Tyranitar. Now, holy cow, man. Like, I just gotta say, like, I have not had a chance to battle Rhydon, Lapras, or Snorlax, nor have I had the chance to battle some of the other raid bosses, such as Venusaur and Blastoise. But we also have Tyranitar too. Now see, here's the thing, okay? And I wanted to make a video on this yesterday, but the thing is, I didn't have enough in me. Plus, I also was kind of thinking, okay, how am I going to go about doing this? I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going to put everything in one solid video, you know, make it a tutorial video, make it entertaining and all that stuff. Tyranitar, okay? Tyranitar is a very difficult raid boss to beat, okay? You need at least like 10 people to be able to take this thing on. The suggested size is 17. Now see, here's the thing, okay? Is that yesterday I actually participated in a Tyranitar raid boss battle, and there was 19 of us that participated, and we took that guy down in like less than 60 seconds. I'm like, yo, that was so crazy, man. I was so hyped, and I was really honestly hoping that, you know, some TMs would drop. Now, I understand that, you know, the higher the levels are when it comes to the raid bosses, the higher chance that a TM is going to drop, but it's still a very low marginal percentage of you being able to successfully have a TM drop at you. I only had one TM drop for me, and that was a fast charge, and that was like some time ago, you know, back when the raid boss battle system was still fairly new to me. But it's catching now the Pokemon, the raid bosses. If you bring them down, if you defeat them, it is catching these Pokemon that are the real challenge. Like, okay. Like, and this is the part of the video where, you know, it's like sort of like a part 2, giving you guys my honest opinions on the raid boss battle system. So let's fucking do this. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so in this next part of the video here, it is pretty much going to be, you know, what I think about the whole Pokemon Go raid boss battle system, giving you guys my opinions, giving you guys my criticisms and all that stuff. So please take what I say with a pinch of salt, and actually take everything I say here in this video with a pinch of salt, as a lot of the advice and things that I point out here in this video is strictly from my opinion and my experiences. Experiences and opinions may differ for the next player, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone has a different way of doing things in this game. Now, we now get to the nitty-gritty, okay? We get to my opinions about the overall aspect of the Pokemon Go raid boss battle system. Now, see, here's the thing, is that I genuinely love this system, okay? But there is some complaints I do have about this system, so I'm going to get into the first complaint. Now, the reason I'm going to be starting it with the complaints first is to get the negative out of the way first, because I'm generally not a negative person. I generally love to, you know, to explore different options and to, you know, give things a chance and be more open-minded and stuff like that, but you know, as good as all that is, you know, sometimes there's some stuff that you just don't like about something, and you gotta say what you gotta say. So, I'm gonna try and make this quick, okay? So, number one, my first complaint about the whole raid boss battle system is it has to do with the teams, actually, okay? So, you know, you could have a large number of people participate in a raid, but it's all dependent on the amount of teams and the quantity of X team that will participate with you that, you know, gives you the amount of Premier Balls that you're able to use to catch the Pokemon that you beat in the raid boss battle. So, for example, yesterday, okay, out of 19 people, there was only 2 people that was Instinct, myself and another lady, and the rest, the majority of them actually were Mystic, and some were Valor. Now, see, here's the thing, is that because of that, because of the lopsided numbers, the less team members that you have, the less chances that you're going to get, you know, Premier Balls to be able to have more of a chance to catch that Pokemon. And I gotta say, that right there, it really screws over the underdog team. You know, if you are an underdog team in a raid boss battle, you know, like, numbers is always good, but you need to have numbers in your team to be able to have a chance of getting more Premier Balls so that you'll be able to catch that raid boss. Now, with that being said, speaking of Premier Balls, let's get on now to the second complaint. Okay, so the second complaint has to do with Premier Balls, and I'm just kind of thinking, like, when I first heard about the raid boss battle system and I heard about Premier Balls and stuff like that, I was under the impression that you could actually stack up your Premier Balls that you have accumulated and collected from previous raids that were left unused, but turns out that's not the case. The amount of Premier Balls that you get in the raid are the only ones that you're allowed to use. You don't get to collect them, you don't get to keep them, and that right there is something that, in my opinion, is a flaw in this raid boss battle system, because especially if you are going up against a boss Pokemon that you have brought down and then you're trying to catch, they are very difficult to catch, okay? Let me tell you something, man. They are very difficult to catch depending on the level. Like, you know, Tyranitar, Snorlax, Lapras, Rhydon, you know, Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. Those Pokemon are more difficult to catch, and they require a lot of Premier Balls or a lot of luck if you are have like 5 or 6 of them kind of thing, you know? And I honestly think that, you know, it screws over a lot of players, because the thing is that, like, you know, the real challenge, in my opinion, you know, it isn't just the battle, but it's catching the Pokemon. You know, they say bonus challenge, and say real challenge, okay? Because depending on what these Pokemon are, they are ridiculously tough to capture, especially with them, you know, dancing and, like, jumping around like a ballerina on steroids or something like that. God damn it, man. I get so pissed about that. Now, with that being said, I actually have a third complaint, but it's more or less going to be rage ranting over something real quick to give you guys a little bit of that kind of crazy factor in this video, so let's get to it. Tyranitar. Twice now that you managed to evade me from capturing you. How does this even happen, okay? Like, holy shit, is it not in my cards? Is it not in the stack deck that I have against me to be able to eventually get a Tyranitar? I guess not, because here's the thing, is that the first time I had a chance to catch it, it was a silhouette in the nearby section. Now, because of the fact that I was in a rural area, which didn't have a lot of Pokestops, it didn't exactly help me narrow down where this Pokemon was. It was just in the nearby grass section. It wasn't nearby in a Pokestop or anything like that. I was, like, you know, just clanging and banging and zipping around trying to find this bitch, and I couldn't find it. I was so pissed off, as I had highlighted in my video, in one of my past Pokemon Go videos. Now, the thing is that yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, when I participated, and we easily crushed up that Tyranitar with 19 people, I thought it was redemption time for me, man. I thought, yo, now is my chance to not only encounter Tyranitar 1 vs 1, but it's my opportunity to finally catch it, okay? Now, here's the thing, is that I only had 6 Premier Balls to work with, and I'm like, what? Are you serious right now? So I'm like, okay, wait. I was like, calm down, bro. Let's see what we can do. I mean, we do have the gold raspberries, which makes Pokemon even more easier to catch. Well, more easier to catch my ass, because I'm like, I popped a gold raspberry, and the ring was still red around Tyranitar. I'm like, no, come on, man. And that's not even it. That's not the bit that pissed me off the most, okay? Was that I had 6 balls to work with, and Tyranitar literally kept on jumping around and dancing around like a ballerina and going, rah, just trying to attack and all that stuff. I'm like, you son of a bitch. It's like, you need to be caught. But see, here's the thing, is I was down to 3 Premier Balls, and all 3 of those Premier Balls, he ended up, like, dodging and knocking away. I'm like, no! And it did a little song and dance as the light surrounded it, and it said, oh no, the Pokemon fled. And I'm like, no. How did this happen? I'm like, no! And see, the thing of it is I was not the only one that got fucking screwed over, man. Like, half of the players in that raid got screwed over up and down the yin-yang, man. They couldn't catch that Pokemon. I'm like, how does this even happen? Like, see, this right here, okay, this is, like, probably the biggest complaint I have about this shit, is the fact that, you know, Premier Balls are something that are not collectible. They're not stackable, you know? Like, the only Premier Balls that are made available for you are the ones that you get from the raid. And depending on how many people are on your corresponding team, you get that many premier balls, but given the fact that I'm on Team Instinct, man, there's not a lot of Instinct players here, man. Not a lot of Instinct players where I'm at, and I'm like, fuck. That really sucks, man. That really blows. It blows chunks big time. And I'm so pissed off right now. I'm so damn pissed. It's like, how does this even happen? For the second time now, how does Tyranitar evade your boy MegaCrasher from being captured? Oh, make no mistake about it. There's going to be a third time, and that third time's going to be the charm. Mark my words, because if not, I will need choke myself, and it's going to be the best fucking video there is, because I'm going to be happy catching that Tyranitar. I'm going to be putting that shit live, and it's going to be so fucking hyped. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's now get back to serious talk. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, let's get back into the video, and let's, kind of get back into being cool, calm, collected like a cucumber, man. So, yeah, I hope that you guys are enjoying what you're seeing up until this very point, because now it's time for your boy MegaCrasher to deliver to you some MegaCrasher style keys to victory, okay? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the first tip I want to share with you guys is make sure you have a type advantage over the Pokemon that is in the raid battle. Now, I know that's a pretty easy tip to be able to spout out and all that stuff, but also you need to follow that up with Pokemon with exceptionally high CP, okay? You need to have Pokemon that have really good CP that is minimum, okay? Minimum 2,000s, okay? Like, Pokemon that have a lower CP, that's not necessarily going to work out in your favor unless you're like some crazy player that has like a whole bunch of other people in your entourage that's able to back you up kind of thing. I mean, hell, I've even seen a YouTuber have a team of baby Pokemon battle raid bosses, but of course he didn't do that by himself. At least to my memory, I don't think he did, but with that being said, correct me if I'm wrong, but with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the second tip I want to share with you guys is dodge. Dodge their charge attacks. And the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, is something I actually learned from this guy that sold a Vaporeon with 5 Executors, is that the reason why you want to be able to dodge and have as little Pokemon as possible go down in the fight is because it actually eats up precious time to bring in one Pokemon after the other one faints. It eats up a few seconds, so when you see a charge attack coming, dodge. Get the hell out of dodge. Get out of there, man, and just keep on firing away. But see, the thing is that you need to be able to make sure that your phone does not lag, okay? Because lagging, like I said, is a big time killer, and it can definitely fuck with your momentum when it comes to these raid battles. And it did so with me a few times, and I gotta say, it's definitely not fun to lag out because of the fact that it can definitely be the difference between winning the raid battle for you and losing out on the raid battle, and not to mention also losing out on the chance to being able to catch that Pokemon after you bring it down. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so up next, it has to do with the final slot or final 2 slots in your team, depending on how many people are with you in the raid battle, and depending on the level that it is. Always make sure that you have at least 1 or 2 Pokemon that is specifically there to be, as Jonathan would call it, a meat shield. Something that's meant to take hits and stall out time, so that way the Pokemon will be able to stick around a little bit longer, therefore increasing your chances of successfully beating the raid boss and reaping the benefits. So your last 1 or 2 slots should be Blissey, Snorlax, Pokemon that are meant to take hits, okay? Like, Blissey is a Pokemon that its damage output is pitiful, but it definitely can take hits all day, every day. That's why it makes it one of the best defenders in the gym system. Even right now with the new and improved gym system, it is one of the best defenders, and it can even go toe-to-toe with fighting-type Pokemon. Just try to wrap your head around that. And you also got the likes of Snorlax, which is a slightly less defensive but more offensive version of Blissey, It is very powerful, very tough, and it hits very, very hard, Like, a Lick and Hyper Beam, it's like, I'm telling you, man, those are attacks that you need to watch for. And not to mention, they're also very solid attacks to use when you're on the offensive too, because Lick is a very, very fast charge move, and Hyper Beam, well, it's stab, and you get the idea. I mean, it does a shit ton of damage. But with that said, though, ladies and gentlemen, always make sure that your last 2 Pokemon are there that are meant to take hits, so that way it stalls for time and gives you a better chance to hang around to the very end of the raid battle. So therefore, when the Pokemon is brought down, you're able to reap the benefits, as I said, and be able to proceed to trying to catch that Pokemon. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I mean, I pretty much went all out here in this video by breaking down the raid boss battle system, giving you guys some details as to how you guys can deal with these raid bosses in terms of the level, when it comes to things like type advantage, when it comes to things, you know, such as numbers and groups and things like that. I want to preface this by saying that depending on your level is what's going to make the difference between being able to solo a level 1 raid and being able to solo a level 2 raid. Now, given the fact that I am level 30, I am able to solo level 1 and level 2, but level 3, on the other hand, I ain't exactly able to do that just yet, okay? I'm no level 40, I'm no expert, and my phone is a piece of shit. So, I mean, I definitely would highly recommend that you have an entourage with you to be able to take down higher levels. I'm talking about level 3s and especially level 4s. Now, hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. We forgot one of the most important parts here of this video, that being level 5 raids, okay? Now, I actually watched a video from Trainer Tips about level 5 raids, and I'm just like, whoa, man, it's like, we're talking legendary Pokemon here. I mean, I think that the writing is on the wall when it comes to what Pokemon are going to be in these level 5 raid battles. Like, they have to be legendaries, okay? Now, if what he said in the video is true about starting out with the Gen 1 legendary Pokemon, such as the legendary birds, Mewtwo and Mew, yeah, it's like, that's going to be ridiculously crazy. And there are a lot of Pokemon that are going to be very useful when it comes to these raid battles. So rather than, you know, repeating everything that he said in the video, I'll link it in the description box down below to definitely go check it out. Like, it is a very well thought out kind of video. He actually kind of inspired me a little bit to kind of put my own spin on giving you guys tips and tricks on how you can deal with the raid bosses according to the levels when it comes to multiple factors. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys did, then make sure you smash the hell out of the like button. This was a very long video and kind of, I wouldn't say on the spot, but I mean, I definitely didn't do any extensive planning. I just kind of spoke from my head and my heart kind of thing. So, I mean, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's aim for 30 likes if I haven't already said that. And if you want more content like this, then make sure you subscribe, support, stay positive, and don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to turn on notifications. That way you will be the first to know when you see me upload next. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your very first time ever viewing my content and you haven't yet subscribed, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the sub button up real nice and join our community today, because we are burning rubber big time on the highway to 5K, baby. Woo! So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys very much for watching this video. Much love to you cool cats, and I'll see you next upload.